Welcome back to the Pokehistorian. I'm your host Matt X, and today we're looking at every single Gengar card. So this ought to be fun, huh? Let's get into it. Got old Gengar from Fossil here. Very basic artwork. Remember going to Books A Million and trading for this card a long time ago? Although it's very basic, I will say it has just a lot of nostalgia for me. I don't know how the younger generation feels about it, but it's still a cool card. Here's the holographic version, which I think does it more justice. Here we got Sabrina's Gengar from Gym Heroes. Kind of a basic Sugimori artwork going on there. And I don't really care for the English version of this card. Like the Japanese version is actually better because it's got tombstones in the background. So if you're going to pick up this card, I highly recommend you get the Japanese version. You'll enjoy it a lot more. Here's Gym Challenge. Up close and personal, another Sugimori artwork. I know I'm not usually big on the Sugimori artworks, mainly just because I've seen them so many times and they just kind of like stick them with some random background. But I do like how up close and personal this Gengar is. It's right in your face. You got that big old moon in the background. He's got funny looking eyes, doesn't he? Let's see what else we got here. Dark Gengar from Neo Destiny. This is a classic. Looking very, very mischievous here. I keep meaning to pick this one up, but there's just so many cards I want, and then I look at the price and it's like, man, that's a hefty price to pay for this card for a card that I like, but I'm not like super crazy about. And then I put it off, and I think about getting it again, and then the price has gone up, and then I get turned off again, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this card. Kasube artwork. Here we got the Legendary Collection Gengar. Yes, it's a reprint of the Fossil artwork. Here we got Expedition base set. I like this one. It's Baba artwork. Here we have Gengar out in the desert. A couple plants growing. Got some wind up there. And like, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a shadow or if that's supposed to be like a portal to another dimension right there below his feet, because you would think Gengar's shadow would be black, but instead it's red. So it's like, did this Gengar just like hop out of a portal? I don't know. There's the hollow version. Still looking pretty good. Wouldn't mind having that one. Here's a classic, old Gengar from Skyridge. People love this one. Umamoto artwork. Let's go to the non-hollow variant so we can get a good look at the artwork. That's one of the things I like about Skyridge, is like a lot of these cards like take place like in this temple location. And to me it's very fascinating. You got these different statues of the legendary bird. You got Zapdos and Articuno there. There's also a Moltres statue around there somewhere. Got some mountains in the background where some of the cards take place. And I would just love to know the significance of this temple. I should probably look that up at some point. Gengar's actually got a lot of detail on his face here too. Definitely one of the most sought after Gengar cards for collectors. Here we have Gengar EX from Fire Red and Leaf Green. This is actually an Arita artwork. And I'm not too big on it. It's kind of too 3D for me, and there's not really too much going on in the background. Here we got EX Legend Maker. This one's kind of cool. Got a nice aerial view of Gengar here. Kuki Saito. And we've got Gengar from Diamond and Pearl sitting on the stump. Hamono artwork, one of the original Pokemon artists. I do like this one a lot. It's got kind of a whimsical, magical feel with all that. I don't even know what those are. It's like stars or shiny stuff in the sky. Looks really cool. I remember my buddy actually had this card and we were looking at it when I was in college. And we like made like decks just to have fun and like play like a couple rounds with the Pokemon TCG, and I remember sticking this guy in my deck. I might have it around somewhere still. Here we got Stormfront Gengar, Kusajima. Definitely reminds me of the Ninetales card from Dragon Frontiers. Got that same kind of vibe going on there. A little bit of the Van Gogh look. I guess this is supposed to be like a little brook of water or something, and then there's forestation on both sides. And there's the moon reflecting in the water onto Gengar's face. Very unique artwork. Got rising rivals here. Looks like Gengar is jumping down from the top of this building here. Kimura artwork. I don't remember who this trainer is. I think it's one of the gym leaders. Yeah, it even says gym leader's Pokemon. Duh. Anyways, pretty nice. Very detailed. I always like the cards that have like detailed backgrounds like this. It always makes them more fun. We got Gengar level X. Very 3D-esque looking card. Looks like it's charging Shadow Ball there. Don't really like these 3D artworks too much, as I've said in many of my videos, but this one's okay. I like how like Gengar's eyes here look like they're jewels or something. They're all sparkly. That's kind of cool. Oh, this is a cool one. Gengar from Arceus. This is an Arita artwork. And we got Gengar on the roof. And now that I'm looking at this card again, it really kind of reminds me of Aquapolis Umbreon. In fact, I wonder if this is the same town. Like, that could be the clock tower right there. I really need to look that up and check it out. Like, this gives me, like, definitely, like, E-Series vibes here. Got the bolt of lightning in the background. Got some leaves blowing. I need to pick this one up. It's probably not even that expensive. No, where's my... Oh, it's already in cards I want. Okay, that works. Here we have Gengar. Harada artwork. Walking through the water. Kind of a cool depiction. And that's from Arceus. Got Gengar here. This is a Gengar Prime from Heart Gold, Soul Silver Triumphant. Don't know much about this set. Not too crazy about this one. Mega Gengar from Phantom Forces. Let's check this out. This is a wild card. 5-band graphics. All these candies are like swirling around it. That's pretty wild. And of course you got the Japanese text for its big attack. I think it's probably Phantom Gate, but don't quote me on that. I don't really know a whole lot about the Mega Evolution cards. Mega Gengar is wild. It's got like that third eye going on there. I don't know why they decided to make that third eye yellow. Maybe to make it stand out more. Definitely a very colorful card. Probably the most colorful Gengar card there is, I'd say. Here's another one, Gengar EX. All the same colors again. Ueda did this one. That's also Phantom Forces. Is this the same card? I think it is. Yep. Well, yeah. I'm not sure what the difference is between these two. Oh, whatever. Let's keep moving. Here we got the last one from Phantom Forces, probably. I actually just sold this card. It's pretty cool, but I never was just super crazy about it. And it's going for a good price, so I thought, you know what, time to say goodbye to it. But hey, if you like it, I don't blame you. Now we're on to Breakthrough. Sinister Fog. Creep Show, that's a funny attack. Saruda artwork. Not too familiar with this artist, but definitely stands out among the other ones. Very distinct. Looks like a reprint for Generations. Here we got Mega Gengar EX. Looks like a shiny variant. This one's kind of interesting. White Gengar. I'm sure a lot of people like this card. Says here the value is $137. I would not be surprised if it's worth more than that. That was a promo. Now we have Gengar Crimson Invasion. So who did this one? Nagasawa. I feel like I've heard that artist before. Hiding out behind this brick wall here. Looks like an old alley. Oh, I got the moon there, of course. I feel like Gengar features the moon almost as much as Umbreon does, huh? Here we go. Old team up, folks. Here's the rainbow variant. I actually own this one. I actually like the rainbow version of this card better than the full art. think it makes it look more original. And I do think that rainbows right now are a bit underrated. I mean, you have to remember, like, back in, like, 2018, 2019, I mean, rainbows were the chase. A lot of the people that are newer to the TCG don't realize that, but, like, these were the cards everybody wanted. And yeah, they don't look that great when you put them all next to each other. It gets a little bit, like, overdone. But if you just have a couple of them, like, scattered throughout your binder among normal cards, they really do stick out. Here's the alt art. It's not terrible, but there's not much going on here. I never really cared for this one that much. Certainly, I don't think it's worth whatever wild price it's going for now. Here's the full art version, non-rainbow. I feel like this one just doesn't stick out as much as the rainbow. And this is my personal favorite. Have the Gengar Mimikyu GX team up regular artwork by Mitsuhiro Arita. I like the pose here. It's like you got Mimikyu in the background there with the moon behind it. You got Gengar front and center striking a pose for us. Like, it's just a very, very unique artwork. Got all this grass and trees and stuff. I like it because it's more dynamic. I think that one might actually be worth the price it's going for. Unbroken Bonds. Looks like he wants to sell you something. Sotaro. Got Sword and Shield base set. I don't know if I've really looked at this one before. But I like all like the ghostly auras around it. That's kind of cool. Very hand drawn. Yamaki. Here we have a promo. I bet this card is popular. Gengar looking especially playful here. Chilling Rain Gengar. Kasube. I love this style. Kasube's done some really cool cards. It just looks like it's like was like drawn with like colored pencils or something like that, and I like that. Getting ready to go up that staircase. Here's another big one. The old Fusion Stripe Gengar VMAX. I never realized there was this castle in the background. That's kind of cool. And it's not a full moon for a change, but a nice crescent moon. It's sucking up all these different fruits and stuff off these trees. Very creepy, but also cool. Kind of reminds me of the ones from Phantom Forces where there's all those like multicolored candies or whatever the heck they are like swirling around it, except here obviously it's real fruits off these trees. But I see why people like this card. Sau's such an incredible artist. I think if I was like to pick up like one more Chase Gengar card, I think I probably would pick this one up. Maybe I'll pick this one up like later this year. Or maybe that's a bad idea. It might be going up right now. Who knows? Here's the regular version from Fusion Strike. 5-band graphics. I do think these VMAX cards are going to have their day. Especially the ones with unique forms like Gengar here. Here's the regular one from Fusion Strike. 5-band. Nothing too crazy going on there. Here we got a Sword and Shield promo. Uda. Tight. Oh, here's one of my favorites. Lost Origin Trainer Gallery Gengar. Hanging out with the Misfortune Sisters. If you don't know them, they're from Legends Arceus, which is an incredible Pokemon game. I highly recommend you play it. It's just chilling here. Getting ready to have a nice cookout. Got some stew brewing over the fire. Everyone thinks this chick's setting a bong, but she's really just making the fire go. Love this card. We got another Lost. Ooh, this one's cool. Another one from Lost Origin. Darumi Sato hanging from the chandelier. Kind of reminds me of like Beauty and the Beast or something for some reason. I don't know why. Ooh, Scarlet and Violet 151. Kamiya artwork. I wish this had been like a full art illustration rare with this going on. I'd love to see what else is going on in this picture. Looks like you got like these like ghostly alien figures across the ground, sitting in the background. Gengar looking especially kind of dopey here, but I like it. It's cool artwork. Paldean Fates, Gengar, hanging out at the haunted house or something. Temporal Forces, full art. Nothing too special there. We've got Temporal Forces again. I do like this one. Swirling around in the spooky night sky. Nice dynamic pose. And are we done? Is that the last Gengar card in English? Yeah. All right, folks, that's it for Gengar. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. Some of my favorites are this one, this one, this one. And then, you know, even though this card might be a little overrated, I kind of actually don't really think it's that overrated at all. It's pretty sweet. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.